Welcome to the Life School Masterclass Show, where 6 and 7 figure CEOs build their purpose driven legacy businesses through proven branding, marketing, and sales strategies so that they don't have to sacrifice their income and happiness for their mission. Thanks for watching the Life School Masterclass Show. Join our Facebook group community of badass mission-driven entrepreneurs, and come back next week same place and time for our upcoming show.
Hello everyone. Welcome to the Life School Masterclass Show, the place for practical, easy to implement, 20-minute or less business leadership content that will help you build a life and business legacy on purpose while still making the profit and the impact that you are looking for. I am your host, Ilona Lepari, former Fortune 500 corporate CEO turned purpose-driven entrepreneur. Also reminding you that we at the Life School help entrepreneurs build a life and business on purpose. So if you are looking for an alignment in those areas, definitely feel free to reach me, as you know where I am. Today, as usual, I will be having an amazing conversation with another amazing guest from our community, talking everything that has to do with manifesting freedom and abundance. I know it's a topic that, it's so near and dear in our heart, especially as we are heart-driven, purpose-driven aligned entrepreneurs. We are looking to do meaningful work, but we're looking to do work that is really aligned with our natural experience, talents, gifts, the things we're called out there to do, and all of that. So I have today Gunjani Patel-Oza with me. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to our show.
Thank you so much for this amazing warm welcome. I'm completely receiving this. It's absolutely my honor to be here, Ilana. I've been in your world for a little bit, and just your smile and just your whole aura is so magnetic. So I manifested being here at some point in our journey. And I'm so happy to be here. So thank you so much. It's absolutely my honor.
So beautiful. I love that the energy that we put out there, our light really attracts the right people, and our message resonates for the impact that we're looking to make. So I am blessed that I have you here, and looking forward to getting to know you a little bit, and also all the amazing work that you're doing out there in the world. Let's start with, where are you based? I am in New York. I always share that. I think that's something that kind of like, it's a good starter to the conversation. Where are you currently
100%.
based?
So I am living now, I'm like a global citizen of the world, but right now I'm living in Southern California. And I've been here for almost 6 years. Marriage brought me here. And then I have been here since. And before that, I was actually, at one point in my life, I was in Manhattan. So I love my New Yorkers, and I miss them dearly.
So beautiful. I feel like that's always like a common thing. And every time we connect with, because our world is so global. And when I connect with people in New York or like Brooklyn or one of the boroughs, it's like, oh, you're my neighbor. Like, you're so close. Like, so close. But California is always right there. Also, I was in San Francisco a couple of years ago. So it's a beautiful place for sure as well. So let's dive into a little bit about your background. So tell me a little bit about you, and how is it that journey sort of led you to the work that you're doing now?
One day it's about to be a book, but for right now, I'll keep it very short, but very meaningful for everyone watching and for you. So basically, I have been a licensed mental health therapist most of my life. So almost 15 years plus at this point. I have been licensed in California and Florida. And my specialty then was depression, anxiety. I say was because I'm in the process of transitioning from therapy to just all coaching at this point. But most of my life, I've been a therapist. So I used to treat depression, anxiety, trauma, lots of PTSD, grief, loss, addiction, and ADHD. I have ADHD, so I figured it was just all the mood disorders were my thing. And it's like I just found that in my family, we didn't grow up believing in mental health. And I had to sort of pave my own path. And when I did that, I healed, and I had some awesome support through it. So then I figured, you know what, I want to pay it forward, and I want to impact people and change their lives, because these conditions can be easily treated. They take some time sometimes, but they can be treated, and no one should be living in that pain or suffering in that pain. So I've been doing that for 15 years, ran and scaled my practice, to 6 figures and 7 in group practices in both states. And now we're in couple of states. So I loved it. And right before COVID, I had postpartum anxiety, and some PTSD after my son was born. He's 4 years now, but when he was two, motherhood was difficult, even though I asked for it. I guess some part of me just knew too much to be like, why am I showing up like this when I should know all the things and not traumatize him and that whole thing. So as I was going through that journey a little bit, I figured I need to heal, I need to seek support again, and I need to get back on my feet. And as I was climbing out of my hole, I ended up launching my own podcast through that process, because I was like, okay, I was going through the whole imposter syndrome, perfectionism, and I can't do, who am I, and that whole thing. And as I was crawling out of my hole, I figured, it. And this was right before 2020, so it was like, my private practice was full, almost on a waiting list, which was great for
Yeah,
business,
I
but in
hope
terms
that.
of humanity, didn't like that, because I was like, wow, so many people are living in stress and anxiety, and that's just not okay, like absolutely not okay. So then that led me into a lot of I'm now a certified trauma informed breathwork and alignment coach, and I want more and more women to live in their alignment, to live in their authenticity, to live in their truth, so that they can show up as themselves, because a lot of us are not taught that, and I wasn't. And I had to work through the whole people pleasing and all the things. So I figured this time again, I want to pay it forward. So that led me to where I'm now.
Wow, what a beautiful journey. And I always say that it's all stepping stones, right, to the work you're going to do now. And whatever you're doing now is a stepping stone to the work that you're going to do later, right? Because we're always in
100%.
involvement. You have so
Yeah.
much to bring to the table with your, all the tools that, you have been certified and used with people. So, and I always find with whatever, I know we always talk about niching down, positioning, which is important, in any business. But I always find that when you can bring, all these different tools and ways that you bring more value to your client and your market, that automatically positions you really well. So in your case, it's really beautiful to see that. I'm sure a lot of that, experience that you've received, you are able to
It
put in the work
absolutely
that
was.
you
I didn't just show up here, like you said. It took a while to figure. Like I was on the internet, like what am I? I was so plugged out of especially social media, Alana, because I was one of those moms that I was going through my own journey of struggles and not looking my best self and not feeling my best self, to being so triggered by all these picture perfect Pinterest moms on Facebook, and I'm like, oh my god, like I literally had to shut it all off for 2 years. And then when I got back on, I'm like, what is Instagram? What is captions? And I was like, I had to literally start all over again. And then to not knowing anything about tech, not to ever have been in the coaching industry, never to have even invested in myself. It was so much learning in the past 2 years that it was just like, whoa. And now to be able to grow and scale my own business, because of this is actually, and again, niching down didn't just happen. It came from what is not working, listening to the market, listening to who I want to serve, being very specific and getting clear on what I was good at and what I could offer and who I was going to offer that to. Because again, I was in that, like one of my business coaches said, I was in the vanilla land trying to serve everybody and wanting the best for everybody in this whole world. And as a result, I was not serving anyone. And I'm like, why? I just want to help. Why don't anyone want my help? And then I had to learn the business and the marketing and the coaching part of it. So it has all been quite some learning and transition for me too.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I good for you though for shutting down the world, so to speak, because I think that time that you served yourself and your
Yeah. Mm,
newborn is really important as well. So that now you can come back and you have so
yeah.
much to bring to the table because you probably use that time for your inner work and to heal and figure out and align yourself. I think that's also part
100%.
of the process,
Yeah.
right? Kind of like going into all the tech and all of that, but I think what happens is you always find out as an entrepreneur that it's always about you. When you clarify
Yes.
things, you show
Yeah.
up confidently. When you are
Yeah.
like in a mishmash of like, I don't know who I want to help, like how I
Right.
help all of that, that's kind of how
Yeah.
you show up because it's kind of
Right.
all your energy that follows you. So clarity is
So,
always
so, so
power.
true.
And yeah, and I think you're
And
just
most of my life, I was so in the heady mode, like neuroscience heady nerdy mode, that I was not aligned and, like connected and married to the spiritual and the energetic world. And I had to do that deep dive to be like, wow, I'm showing up so forceful in such a contraction, in so much fear, doubt, and lack of trust. Of course, nothing is happening, because I truly believe that abundance is an inside job. What we feel inside is the reality we create outside. And it's just like, I was so disconnected to even the idea of that, that I was just like, I don't know. And I had manifested most of my life, but it was just one of those things where I had to go deeper. Like one of my coaches says, you would really have to, like, big skyscrapers aren't formed in a day. You have to dig so much deeper for months on to have solid foundation for 100-story buildings, so it's like, when you do deeper work, you have the capacity to be there and hold a container for lots of people with ease and grace, because we can still do things forcefully, I truly believe, but you get stressed out, you get burnt out. I've been there, all of those places, and thus I'm like, you know what, something has to change. I have to work on myself.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always about your own transformation at the end of the day, which is so empowering because a
Yes.
lot of times, we're like, oh, my business doing that. We're comparing, we're contrasting
Yes.
all of that, like all the results out there, all the people having success externally, all of that.
Right.
And it's
Right.
shut that down again and come back
Right.
to you
Right.
and
Right.
keep aligned with that because it's really about you comparing yourself to yesterday, how you're evolving, you're growing, your business will come back with you, evolve and grow with you. So um, personally, this is why I chose this path. Um,
Yes.
didn't always know what I was doing at the beginning
Right.
of my
Yeah.
corporate experience of 15 years, but I'm
Um,
like, wait a minute, like I can build a business and I also can like grow and evolve and transform myself and heal all the sides of me and all of that. I'm like, I'm in. Where do I sign up? So it's like
I love
keeping
that.
in mind of your personal and professional development, which was taught to me in the traditional corporate world as like very
Yeah.
like masculine driven and all of
Same. Same.
it's like, ooh, that's married to you, and you could do more magic, which is why I say you can make more impact and you also
Yeah.
can make profit and income and you can marry the two together because sometimes as hard-driven entrepreneurs, we don't always know how to align both, how to create
Mm.
offers, how to really price our brand, how to position
Right.
our brand, how to position ourselves so
Right.
that we can really make that deep impact and also have the resources that we need to keep our business going because without
100%.
any monetary resources of course that we are not able to survive, so to speak, right? Because as the
100%.
business grows, there's always expenses, there's always things that we need to do to invest back into
Right.
it so it can
Right.
grow, it can keep growing. That's just how
Right.
it's part of this.
100%.
All right, Gunjani, this is so beautiful. It led us right into our topic today with the way that your journey has evolved. So,
Mm.
what do we need to know? What are some of the things that you've seen from their clients that you have worked with? What are some of the blocks that really stop
Mm.
us from manifesting the freedom and abundance that we're looking for? Life and business, I guess, is one thing
Mm.
for entrepreneurs, I always say.
I truly agree. And, thank you so much for that question, because that's something, it's like, one, as you were speaking about your journey and what you just shared, what really came to me was, what got you here won't get you there. And it truly, to me, it's like, as we are in the process of expansion and growing our businesses, there are three blocks that I normally tend to see because I teach women's, I help women to ambitious female entrepreneurs to sort of scale to consistent six figures. Because one of the things that I noticed with early entrepreneurs or people who have been in the field for a few years or a few months, and it's just that they see the money, like they'll launch and they'll make the money, or they'll make a whole bunch of money and then months for nothing. And there's a lot of back and forth ping pong. And I truly believe that all the strategies work. It's not about the strategies. Strategies are a big part of a business. Systems and processes are a big part of growing a business. Having a good team that supports you is a big part of the system. But sometimes when people, so right now I help women scale from, scale to 3K to 10K and plus months, but basic and consistent, not just like, oh, we made one client and then here we are, we manifested a few people and then nothing. So it's like, I truly help people look at their subconscious beliefs, and I help you look at what are some, because it's like a lot of the stories that I hear from, and this is all that I'm speaking about is the work that I've done on myself. So I lovingly say this without any judgment, but in the beginning it was just like, you have to work hard, or all these scarcity mindset blocks that were in terms of like some of the common subconscious blocks that I see in my clients are, they have a hard time being visible. There is all these insecurities and so much self-inflicted pressure that we put on ourselves, like, yeah, I'm going to make 10K months, 10K months. And we are so in that focus to that attachment of, yes, I'm going to do this. And in the meantime, the energy is so constricted where we're just like, okay, I'm coming not from the place of high vibes, like I already have it and I'm so grateful for it, and I trust that it's already done, other world. But from a place of, I don't know, it'll happen, I don't know, like all these fears, all these doubts, all this despair, all this lack of trust. And it's like most of the times when people are I notice that when women are consistently trying to make 3 to 10K months, some of the things are, they're trying to look for ideal clients, they're trying to look for, like, have a hard time in terms of, I help you change relationship with wealth. Because sometimes when we are being raised in the first 6 years, I truly believe that our money beliefs or our wealth beliefs or our scarcity beliefs are locked in. So when we go through these expansion, as like you said, in the world of business and entrepreneurship, some of those blocks are going to keep coming up. So one of them is that you have a hard time making sales or making offers because you feel like, oh, you're so in the giving world, I want to just give. You're over giving, your alignment calls last for 2 hours, you're just coming on alive and giving everything. And I'm not saying giving is a bad thing, it is a good thing. But where is there a boundary? We have a hard time setting our boundaries, speaking and voicing our truths, because I feel that we do more disservice to people when we're trying to just get it all there in short pieces, as opposed to really meeting them where they're at and then holding them in their container. People see growth so much faster when you come from that energy of, yes, I want to give, but I'm also worthy of receiving. Because a lot of us have also receiving blocks, like around money, where it's like, oh, all this money is going to come, make all these people are coming in my world. That causes our system to constrict and sometimes be in this place of, because when we're going for change, it's like there's fear of change even though we want it, there's fear of expansion even though we want it. There are all these things that we have to work through that keeps us from self-sabotaging when all these people are wanting to come in, or the way we are showing up and how we show up and what we're giving and the balance of all of that.
Yeah. Ooh, you said so many amazing things right there. And what stuck to me was about the serving, especially in this community as we're hard driven. We need to learn how to have boundaries with our offers. Not
Yes,
everything is a free for all. And what I have
exactly.
found is that the more you do that, the
Mhm.
more people don't value that, right? Because
Exactly,
anything
exactly.
is a perceived value, especially with it being a service-based industry, right? A
Right,
product, at least you can touch, right? Like I bought
right,
a and like I could touch it. It's worth
right.
because the market dictates that it is that. But when
100%.
you have a service, it's more, the perceived value of what you will receive. So it's so hard for entrepreneurs to kind of put a dollar amount to that and then to kind of not give it away, because a lot of these
Right,
things are sort of knowledge that we are sharing and experience. And a lot
right.
of times we're like, where's the boundaries? How do I set and, continue help people give them a quick win, but then create a really amazing, irresistible
Exactly.
offer for them
Right,
to really get that transformation and do it in steps and in
right,
process. It
right,
then
right,
duplicate and triplicate, right? Because again, you want to grow beyond that. You don't want to just be tied up to your business. So I think you said that so beautifully there. And I hope that the message landed with the right people that are going to listen
right,
to the show, because I think that's why. Because in a
right.
service-based business, it's all about perception. So that's why a lot
100%.
of times it's very hard to put a
Yes.
perceived value on your brand, on your offers, and the way that you position yourself in the market, right? So I think that's really deep. What you just said there is
Thank
really, really
you.
important, and I can resonate with so many of that.
Yes. But
Things.
because you've done all your inner work, so of course you do. And you continue to do it and you're hungry for more. So
Yeah, and
I love that about you.
another point that I love to highlight is the fear of success, because as you go through the
Mm,
journey, at the beginning, it's that. It's like the fear of, am I enough? Can I give enough? Can I help enough?
yes.
I work
Yes.
charge with this perceived value for my offer, all of that.
Hmm.
But then
Right.
once you receive success, and I love that you said there's also a fear, because this
Yes.
is my ultimate fear
Yeah.
now of success, of like
Right.
impact. It's like, oh my
Mhm.
gosh, now I have all these people. Like, can I manage all of this?
Right.
How am I going to
Mm.
handle all of it, right? So
Right,
I
right,
have encountered so many people that are under that as well. So here we
right.
go. Those two
Yeah,
things is kind of what people are, struggling with. So I love that you're doing that
totally.
work out there for them.
Thank
And
you.
hold the space and to hold the mirror so
Yes,
they can figure all of that out, right? Because at the end of
100%.
the day, that's really what our job is.
Right.
To just hold that space and so people can work through these things in security, in certainty, but also in guidance.
Yes.
We need that framework. We need
I
that.
love that you mentioned that because I was in my own trauma response. I was like, I'm the therapist. I know all the things. I teach it to people. I don't need help. And I was like, oh my goodness, I wasted so much time. I truly feel that time is so much of an asset. Money, we can make how much ever we want and whatever we want to call in and shift into that. I truly believe that. But like, and I believe that now. I didn't believe that at first because I used to give so much power to money and money used to have so much power over me. And now I'm like, I can always make money, but time will not come back. So if I invest in experts that know what they're doing, then I'll collapse so much time and get to what I need to learn as opposed to me trying to figure it all out and save and not have a team and not support a team. Because again, I noticed there is a huge thing about releasing money with love too, because it's like, ooh, like being in this scarcity and your system vibrating at, if I'm giving money away, then, oh, will I have enough? Or will this kind of success always be there? And those kind of fears come up. So thank you so much for mentioning that. And I actually did a couple of live trainings on that in my group about, how we get fearful of success and how we have a hard time releasing money and what to do about it. So I love what I do because of all the stuff that I guess I've worked in. And I love seeing women blossom and transform because then, like you said, when you do it in steps, it's a lifelong transformation as opposed to let me just give it to you all for free in like 30 minutes, Yes, you need bite-sized breakthroughs so that then that becomes your new norm and your new foundation and your new platform that you operate out of. Because
Absolutely.
sometimes when we know things, we can't unknow them anymore. We just know it.
That's the curse of knowledge. It's a good curse. It
Yes.
gives you other issues, but it's the like you get hit with the bug and then you know already. So then
Right.
you have to just implement it. Some ways I'm like, I wish I
100%.
stay ignorant some things because it's like bliss. But the more you learn, the more you like, oh, now
Exactly.
open up my capacity to do
Right.
to give
Right.
more and to do all of that, which is why
Right.
is what people are investing in with coaches. And a lot of
Mm.
times now with all this content, we get misperceived, we misperceive the value of what we have to offer because of maybe the YouTube or like the free content out there. But there's
Right.
nothing like going through a framework that would
Yes.
time and money and cutting
Right.
down the time, which would took you, I don't know, 5 years, someone would take
Right.
you in
Right.
6 months or 1 year.
100%.
And then here we go, you condense down all of that. And then
Right.
now you can make more of an impact with your team, with your
Yes.
clients, with your
Yes.
family, and all of that. So it's like it
100%.
multiplies and triplicates and all of that. So that's really the main, the value. Sometimes it's like we have to articulate it in a certain way, which people kind of like understand, what is that
Right.
investment they're making in themselves, as I say, or their business, and how is that
100%.
going to give them a return on their investment eventually down the line. Because a lot
Right.
of times people are always looking at like return on investment within like a month or 2 months.
Right. Right.
To go through a process, right?
Mm.
We have invested in ourselves and we're always going to
Right.
get an ROI for that for life, is what I say.
Right.
You want
Right.
an ROI that's going to give you something for like 3 months, like you said, make the six
Right.
figures in 3 months and land those 5 high ticket clients? Or do you
Right.
want to know how to grow business forever and do it with
Right.
offers or whatever, right? And
Right.
whichever area of expertise is it that you offer. I don't know. For me, I would take the second because then even if he falls, I can build it back up again.
Exactly. Exactly. Like I don't want to be like a lottery millionaire. I want to be a self-made millionaire. So it's like I know if it's gone, it comes back because I did it once. It can happen again. So yes.
That's it.
100%.
All right. Well, beautiful. Let's wrap up this interview. It's been amazing. And I had no doubts that we would be so much alignment with our conversation. I hope people
Yes.
took away some wisdom and nuggets as you shared a lot of amazing information. At the end of the interview, I always ask my guests, what is your life school taught you? A final message that you want to share with our audience? And also, where is it that people can find out more about all the amazing work that you do?
Thank you. So one of my biggest things that come up, I've been like a change maker most of my life, and it's like, when we are going through anything new or when we start anything new, there's this whole thing about b- don't be afraid of change and uncertainty. And I know it's easier said than done, but if your beliefs are that you are to us, just in terms of how our brain is designed, how as humans we're designed, we're so afraid of something that we don't know. So we keep doing things that are familiar over and over, even if they're dysfunctional, that once served us, but then doesn't serve us anymore. So I guess, one of the biggest things, it's like, if you're afraid of change, then ask yourself, what would it take right now for me to vibrationally align with peace or strength or power within me, so that I can go out there and do whatever it is that I'm looking to go do. But just being aware and recognizing, because I really feel that awareness is a key to change. So being aware that you're afraid of change, you're afraid of uncertainty, that there is stuff there that needs to be resolved, because emotions, I truly believe, are not good or bad. They're just guideposts and informational data that are telling us that something that we care about is being affected. So what is it that we care about? How can we change our values and beliefs about that? And then how can we work through change gracefully, as opposed to resisting it and not wanting it, because then we stay in this rigidity and stay in ourselves that is not our highest self and our potential. And then your follow-up question was, where can they find me? I have a amazing, beautiful Facebook community called Female Entrepreneurs Manifest Freedom and Abundance. I do live trainings, I do breathwork meditations, I do all these amazing things that I see in my work with my clients, and then I do train other people on it in the community. It's absolutely free right now. And I also offer free 30-minute alignment calls with me. So it's like an alignment breakthrough call, worst case scenario. It just helps you in those calls. We just figure out, what are some of your subconscious beliefs that you keep self-sabotaging yourself, so that you can expand with new awareness, and you know what to work through, and fast. Because sometimes when we're in the bottle, we can't read the label. So it really helps when somebody else is saying, oh, you're doing this, these are your values, these are your beliefs. Like, you believe that working hard is important, or success only happens to certain people, or it can only happen once, or whatever it is that is happening in your world, your beliefs are, that can absolutely be changed, and that doesn't have to be your story forever. So you can change your story anytime you please and as you want, as you're expanding. And I love helping women, showing them and rewriting and authoring their stories, so that they can, create the life of their design.
All right, beautiful. Definitely go check out Gunjani there in her beautiful Facebook group community, and also grab that alignment call. I think even if you don't invest, it's still
100%.
education. It's you
Yes.
get a new clarity. You get like,
Yes.
'cause at the end of the day, as entrepreneur, we're always connecting the dots. Is what
Yes.
so you'll connect like one or two more dots, and then that'll help you for that journey, to help you further down
100%.
the line. I always say the same for business. I'm like, even if you don't feel obligated, nothing is
Yes.
based, but it's always a beautiful conversation. Let me just hold the space a little bit based on my
Yes.
expertise to just
Right.
connect a couple of dots in your business
Yes.
and really help you, get to that next level. So I think it's the same way. So definitely grab that on your end as well. Well, thank you so much for a beautiful
Yes.
conversation. You are so welcome to come back to the show. We
Yes.
have amazing other
Yes.
conversations. Dive into
Yes.
these different topics. As at the end of the day, the Life School Masterclass show, or the platform, is really about inspiring and educating people, and really showcasing the amazing people that we have in the world. And I always say that purpose-driven entrepreneurs will change the world, because when
Yes.
people, have
I truly believe that.
assets and resources to do more good in the world with, they will always choose that. So
Yes.
thanks so much for a beautiful
Thank
conversation.
you.
I will see you, my friends, next time on the show, and another beautiful guest. Bye for now.